Alright, guys, so this is Pablo Vargas, your host from the P Alpha Music Podcast. This is episode number 91. A little bit early today, just to change things a little bit. I'm in between break from my work, so I just wanted to just take this small time and do the podcast and just get it out of the way. I feel good. If you hear some noise in the background, is that the green packages are playing, and down below my apartment there's a bar where a lot of people just go there and they have their good time. If you hear some sound in the background, that's just my woman just making me some nice coffee with vanilla cream in it. Okay, so today's topic is take action in your life. Okay, take action in your life. And I like this because I'm going through something very interesting where I just go through a process where not thinking, let's say thinking about not taking action is not a thought that comes and stop me. Okay, so for example, let me just give you an example. Where did I learn this? I still work as a life insurance agent, and I had to do cold calling sometimes, right? And cold calling, for those people that know, it's very hard because you know that people they're gonna just hang up on you. It's very hard to find people that want the products. So there's a lot of fear of rejection. There's a lot of a lot of things that comes before you wanna just grab that phone. That all of a sudden you just weigh over 90 tons or 90 pounds. It's very heavy all of a sudden. So what I do is basically I just grab the phone and dial right away. I don't think about it. I don't think, no, I just get my stuff together and press the button. So moving from that, right, to the podcast is I do my research, get the camera ready, get my recording setting ready, and I just press play right away. I take action right away, okay? And that way, all those doubts, all those excuses don't have time to pop, okay? So before we go to the points that I want to discuss, let me just say that you're watching my podcast on YouTube, of course, do your diligence of liking and subscribe. If you're listening to the podcast on Rumble, do the same thing, subscribe, or you like the content. For those folks listening to the Anchor.fm podcast channel, make sure that you share with your friends and family and help this podcast grow. Okay, let's get into it. Take action in your life. So basically, stop playing. No more playing. No more, let's say, playing around. Start taking things very seriously. Okay? Why is that? Time is running out. Okay? Time is not something you're gonna just get back. As soon as it's gone, it's gone. Okay? So let's just stop playing. Let me just go with a couple tips or couple things that it can help you overcome this phenomenon. Okay, first one, stop waiting until things are perfect. Stop waiting until things are perfect. Classical musician as a background, I remember when I had to do my concerts, my belief system back then was I need to have everything perfect before I perform, right? I need to have everything set it up before I perform. The reality is that's an excuse for you for never take action. And one of my teachers used to say, hey Pablo, just play. And from that we'll figure out what things we did wrong and we're gonna fix them, right? And sometimes I will play things that were not even ready, but I will still play. And of course, by time, I got better, and I got better performing as a musician. Just because the more I was performing in front of people, it was more like a constant action in, constant correction. It just became, it becomes a great tactics to really perform better, as weird that sounds. Instead of just going, behind the red blanket, right? And say, you know what, maybe I'm not ready, maybe I'm not, a lot of things can just go through your mind. Go at it. If you perform bad, that's fine. go back and review it and fix it and just go to the next one continuously. As well, I do sales. It's the same problem. You have to just keep, you have to do a constant correction and then fix them, right? That's what they say a lot in sales. You know, they take a lot of action and constant correction. A lot of action, constant correction. Why a lot of actions? Because you have to create momentum, right? And the only way you kind of see result if you take action, right? There's some averages that go with it, right? But to help you out to understanding, right, that just going back and just waiting all the planets to align to take action is not the best way to do it, because what you're going to do is procrastinate and you're never going to do it. You're going to overthink and you're going to go crazy. Don't do it. Make sure you go at it and take action. Next one. Stop, get up, and do it. Okay? Stop, get up, and do it. Have you ever thought, or have you ever been in a situation where you're watching TV and there's a great idea, right? And you say, you know what, that's a great idea, but I will just do it after this episode, or after today, or after tomorrow. So what happened was, in that moment when you had the opportunity to have an initiation to that idea, you lost it. Because in that time, what you needed was simply just taking action. Instead of putting stop to the TV, stop what you're doing and just work on that idea, you didn't do it. You just let it pass by. So now what you need to do is, when you have ideas, right? Grab a pencil, write it down. See? You stop doing what you were doing. You know? You get up, grab your pen, and do it. At least it's in your subconscious. And it's not an idea that's floating around. Okay? Stop, get up, and do it. Next one. Overthinking is your killer. Overthinking is your killer. Why is that? Why overthinking is a killer? Why overthinking things is bad? You know what is crazy? That in the prison system, in the judicial system, United States, you get more years when you overthink a murder than killing someone. Why? Right? Why you get more years by overthinking than killing someone? The reason is because when you overthink, right, you create more turmoil, right? You create more, let's say, darker things, right? You create more possibilities of problems. And it's like, think it as a big snow, right? Let's say you're in a mountain and there's a lot of snow. And that snow is steady, but the more the blizzards and the snow start, falling from the sky, it gets stuck. You need only one thing, one small action to just let all that thing just go down. Right? So that's the overthinking. It's just being accumulated so much, right? That it gets harder and harder to release. And when it gets released in the wrong way. Okay? It gets released with anxiety, insecurity, fear. All these emotions that come into it as soon as you release the overthinking. Do not overthink. You have to move forward. You have to just get that first step out of the way, and you will see how things start moving, right? And that's why when I do my podcast, I start setting things done, connected, camera ready, all is ready, play. I'm just following through just to avoid the overthinking, because as soon as I start overthinking, my insecurities will come in. And I know when my insecurities start coming in, that's the time I will never take action. I don't allow those things to happen. Take action, now overthinking. Okay? Fourth one, of course, self-explanatory. Take continuous action. Now, there's a reason why this one is very important. It's because momentum is key right, to success. Momentum is the key for success. Okay, if you don't have continuous momentum, right, you're not moving, you're not fixing problems that might be confronted in the future, right? The problems that you think that you have today, it might be so far away from reality that reality from the problems that you need to fix in the future. Okay, so the continuous problem comes from the same theory, where constant action, constant correction, right? You need to fix a lot of things, right? But you cannot stop moving, right? You have to keep taking action. Today is the podcast. Then you have to go to Fiverr and make sure that someone just help you out to be an email list. Then you go to somewhere else. Then you have to just work a little bit just to get some income. Then you have to just make sure you set up a YouTube channel, a consultant company. All those things are action. Don't stop, right? Don't stop. Don't be in a position on where you're not moving. You're not moving, it's hard to start. Okay, if you're not moving, it's hard to start. Make sure you're always moving something. You know what's crazy? In sales, we call, when you're doing calls, they call you have to create momentum before you dial, right? You start moving, you start doing dials while standing up, because you need to create momentum. Okay, take a continuous action. Next one, use actions to overcome fear. Use action to overcome fear. Fear of rejection. How do you get overcome fear of rejection? You have to practice. You have to be rejected. How do you overcome anxiety in the phone? You have to just do a lot of dials. How do you become fear of speaking in public? You have to speak on public, right? How do you get in fear to talking to people? You have to talk with people. Okay, now there's some inner game exercise that can help you out to basically overcome these things, right? But the easier way is from the point of taking action. Okay, if you take action, you can overcome those things that are very scary. How do you overcome this fact that you wanted to just play piano, you never did? Hey, what about just buying a piano, you sit down, just pressing the key? You're overcoming the fear that those things cannot be achieved. Okay, overcoming fear of fighting, right? Maybe you need to go to a martial arts school, get hit a couple times, and you realize, you know what, it's not as bad as I thought, right? Maybe taking hits and getting used to it is not as bad, right? Those things need to be an initiation from your part in order for you to overcome fear. Next one and last one, eliminate the distraction. And the first one, they need to work on that. Distraction is a problem for the simple fact that distraction is everywhere. Distraction is in social media. Distraction is outside. Distraction is in your family. Distraction is in your computer. Distractions is everywhere. Everywhere. When I say everywhere, literally everywhere. You go outside, people doing something. You want to just be part of that something. Your friends are calling you to do things that are not even remotely important for what you're doing. Your family all of a sudden want to go to the park. That's another distraction. So you have to be so strong, right? Where you taking action in your life is a priority number one, like positive 100. Okay. The thing about taking action is that it's all surrounded by momentum. Okay, all surrounded by momentum. You don't take action, momentum is not created. Now, momentum is not created, then of course you will be in a situation where you're gonna be there for months, years, maybe, just because you never took action. So you never managed to just get the ball rolling. Okay, now let's say you have a phone, you got social media, and you're not using social media for business. Do not use it, because what you're doing is helping others achieve their own dreams, not yours. Okay, so you can't do that. Okay, eliminate social media. I deactivated my Facebook account. I have another one, but that one's strictly for business. Strictly for business. Even my picture is just I think it's an egg with a toast or something like that. It's so for business that I have not even personal pictures of mine, just for business. Because I know that every time that I'm in social media, it's everything is a distraction. I can't do that. Okay, those distractions are just sucking my life on from the things I need to achieve in my life. That makes sense? Okay. So these are my personal opinion, right? 6 things that can just help you out to achieve taking action in your life. I understand action is not an easy thing, but for those folks that have thought about, man, but I have 5 kids, I have this and that, understandable. But are you gonna go through your life thinking about all those things that you never did, just because you couldn't just take action and make them happen? Huh? Exactly. So taking action, and even if it requires 5 minutes, even if it requires 10 minutes, that is fine. At least you started something. At least you started something. It's worse if you never thought about starting something. At least you're getting things moving around. I didn't write this one down, right? But in the 6th one, the distraction, girlfriends, wife, friends, if they're always looking for your attention, they are getting you out of your life goals. Don't allow that to be a thing. Okay? That's a huge distraction, and that's repetitive. Repetitive to the point where basically 30 or 40 years went by and things just kept the same. Okay? Alright. This was episode number 91 from the P Alpha Music Podcast. Take action in your life. Make sure, of course, that you like and subscribe, and you listen to us on YouTube and Rumble. I want to just make sure those people that are listening to Rumble, make sure that you like and subscribe. Getting great reaction in that area. Love it. You guys are great. Also, for those people listening to the podcast in Anchor.fm, remember, Anchor.fm is just the only place that I'm hosted, right? But hosted as a primary podcast hoster. But I'm everywhere. Spotify, iHeart. I'm like 25 or 30 different stations around the world, right? It's mainly in the United States, of course. But you can listen to the podcast in that and all your favorites podcasts or music streamer platforms. Okay, so this was episode number 91. Hope you guys like it. This is your host, Pablo Ruiz Vargas. I'm out.